Considering thousands of my fellow Brits pass through Malaga's airport every summer, it is surprising to see so few and sober exploring the Andalusian city. But then as soon as most land in the capital of the Costa del Sol, they tend to head off down the coast to Spanglish Torremolinos and Marbella, completely bypassing the historical and cultural gems that Malaga has to offer. Over the past few decades, Malaga has reinvented itself as a cultural hub, with several museums showcasing and celebrating modern art, its most recent being the Pompidou Centre along its harbour. Unlike its sister centre in Paris, its service pipes are found on the inside of the building. Yet, like its French counterpart, it too is a work of art in itself, reminiscent of a Mondrian, especially when the sun is shining through it. On the 25th of October 1881, Pablo Picasso was born here on the corner of Plaza de la Merced. Although the family left Malaga 10 years later, and Picasso himself never visited the city again after 1901, Malaga has never forgotten its most famous son. The building is now the headquarters of a Picasso Art Foundation, and work donated by the family hangs permanently here in the beautiful Palacio de los Condes de Buenavista. It has a large courtyard for visitors to stand around, working out how to use the free of charge and free of instructions audio guides, and a large souvenir shop selling all manner of Picasso-themed and branded items, including possibly the most expensive Crocs in Spain. Something where there is no doubt was too expensive for the country was Malaga's iconic cathedral. Once a mosque during the time of the Moors, reconstruction work to turn it into the Christian place of worship it is today began in the 16th century. Yet 200 years and 5 architects later, the building was left unfinished. Its emblematic bell tower should actually be one of a pair, but thanks to a budget that just could not meet ambitious architectural expectations, the sole tower has earned the cathedral its affectionate nickname, La Manquita, the one-armed lady. There may not be much Moorish influence left to savour around the cathedral, but Malaga's beautifully restored Alcazaba, that stands proudly over the city's beautifully preserved Roman amphitheatre, is simply oozing with Moorish charm. The 11th century palace fortress is full of characteristic horseshoe arches and paradise-like courtyards. It is also cloaked in so much foliage, one wonders whether the Alcazaba is an ancient building covered in wild blooms or a huge flower garden covering some old brickwork. Yet with all its history, beauty and respectful preservation, clearly not all visitors to the Alcazaba have been impressed by it. Why else would the city feel the need to put a virtual reality tour of it within its own grounds, so visitors can choose to enjoy a simulation of the place rather than the actual place itself? Further up the hill overlooking the city are the remnants of Castillo de Gibralfaro, a 14th century rebuild of an 8th century AMIA. Although little of either building remains, the panoramic views along the tops of the surviving ramparts are simply stunning. The AMIA was remodelled into a lighthouse and military barracks, the latter celebrated today in a small museum found on the grounds. An array of historic maps, documents and weaponry are on display here, as well as various military uniforms throughout the ages. They are modelled on mannequins that prove most soldiers were not natural blondes, and that some only had to stare intensely at the enemy to overpower them.